Succession planning for your franchise. What are those first steps? Oftentimes, when the term succession planning or even an exit strategy comes about, I do see a lot of business owners, CEOs, just like you, get a little overwhelmed, anxious. Are you selling out your business? Are you giving it up? However, succession planning is way deeper than that. Succession planning doesn't have to mean you're selling your business. It could be that you're changing the reins. Someone else will actively manage your business, and of course, you're still the owner. They're different models. However, what are those first steps you should be thinking about? As you start your franchise, as you start your business, you need to start thinking about those steps for succession planning. And oftentimes, I also see where you're thinking about who is going to probably do tasks that you don't do. However, the first step is to think about who will replace you, who will be doing your tasks. So, as the CEO, as the owner, there are certain key decisions that are made by yourself now. There are certain processes you carry out. There are certain things that you are in charge of. So, it is important to start thinking about replacing yourself. And it sounds a little eerie, replacing yourself. Nobody can replace you. However, replacing your role, replacing who will be doing those tasks. So it is important to start thinking about that. So as a CEO, start thinking about who is going to be that best person to replace me as a CEO, and also what are you expecting? What levels are you expecting them to operate, the standard, the experience, and the a key thing to start doing also. There's so many things that I want to focus on one thing, ensuring that it is clear what should be done. Oftentimes that's a misstep. You're not too sure what should be done. It's you're expert in your head about what to do, and communicating that to someone else is very challenging. So you do want to ensure that you are very clear on what should be done, those steps, setting up that process. This is how you make certain decisions. This is how you operate. This is a standard you're expecting. So again, it is important to be clear on the standards that you've set, the operation, how you want things to flow. And it goes back to setting up processes, systems in your business. We can never get away from that. So having that solid foundation. So start with looking at your role. How can you replace your role so that you're not actively in certain areas in the business? You're not necessarily losing control, just not actively in the day to day. You're stepping back and being aware that you have that confidence in who will replace you. So it starts by those standards, those processes that without even thinking twice, having those documented so it's very clear what is expected when that person comes on board, when you start that training. So the first step, setting up solid systems and processes in your business. That's the first step in succession planning, and being clear about what you want this person to do. Replacing lower level persons, lower roles is always easier. However, replacing yourself, that is where it's like the captain of the ship. So you got to be clear on what you want that new captain coming in to do. It should be very clear. These are our standards. This is the process. These are our action list. This is what we do to ensure that we have a profitable business, a cash flow positive business. That is so, so, so important. So succession planning is not something that should be started when I realize I want to retire, I want to do something else. Start it from now. As you start your business, it should be in your mind, in your strategic plan. How is it that I'm going to replace myself eventually, replace other key members in my team? So don't delay with succession planning. Start the steps now. And thank you for tuning in. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, send me a DM. Please, in the comments, any questions you might have, any comments you want to make too. If you have started succession planning, what is working for you? And also do state where you're joining in from. So thank you for tuning in. And as always, remember your business will not survive without positive cash flow. Signing off in 3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone.